Asian Banking and Finance recently caught up with Alain Raes of SWIFT to talk about domestic messaging system and his takeover at Asia Pacific.
Well, yes, indeed. I mean, I'll be taking over from Yan at the end of this year, beginning of next year, and I'm very much honored to be able to do that. I think, the priorities I'm going to have in the future are very similar to the ones we have at this point of time. Actually, we have agreed with the SWIFT Board of Directors on a new strategy for Asia, and I do believe that that strategy is really the right way for us, the right way forward for us in Asia. These priorities or this strategy is articulated around four major pillars. There is one which is about going more local, domestic in India. And for that matter, we have, as we speak, a certain number of very much important projects going forward domestically in India. That is point number one. We have another major market where we believe we can bring a lot more values to the industry is about China, and especially when it comes to the cross-border. To start with, the cross-border transactions in between the rest of the world and the Chinese financial industry. Point number three is Japan, which today already is one of our major markets in Asia that represents today more or less 30% of the volumes in Asia. But again, there we don't have any significant domestic presence, and we want to grow that. And the flagship project we have is about JASDAC that will offer very soon an access to their systems via SWIFT. And the mission for us will be actually making sure that financial institutions are using that access to JASDAC on SWIFT. And then the fourth priority is very much about the ASEAN countries. I mean, the Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, where today we have a presence, we have business, we are connecting the banks and financial industry, but where we believe we can bring a lot more values, we can bring more synergies, and we can also bring the benefits to the banks of the economy of scale that we can bring by having more volumes on the network. Let's put it this way. I see what is happening in Asia when it comes to that business. We do consider this very much as a retail business, and by strategy, we've never been there, and we have no intentions to be in that sort of retail business. We've been exposed to the same sort of not competition, but of threats and market segments in Europe as well, in the US with the MasterCard, with Visa, and never we've been really in competition. Now, is China willing to do more than that and going to the wholesales and all that? I don't know at this point of time. We'll see. But what I do believe, however, is that we do have values, we do have relevance for the Chinese market, especially if it goes more abroad, if it becomes more cross-border as well. And there, I think we can bring the benefits of our systems, of our connectivity to the rest of the financial industry as well. I think the two, and the local payment systems, high value, low value, security CSDs, post-trade business, commercial banks, I think, yeah, the reality is that it is really in the domestic markets that we can create the more synergies and economies of scale. It's clear, for us, it's very clear, the more volumes we have on our network, the cheaper will be the price per transaction, and that is the mission that we do have. The reality also is that it is in the domestic markets where you have those volumes. Today, everybody is talking about globalization, which is fine, internationalization, which is fine, but the reality is that the proportion of international trade with the total business is only 10%. The rest is domestic. And that's therefore where are the synergies we can create. That's a good question, and I know it's going to be a bit of a challenge. Let's put it this way. One thing first that people need to know is that I will, in my position, relocate in Asia. So as of the beginning of January, I will be living out of Singapore. That is one thing, and I'm very keen to going there. Point number one. Point number two, at the beginning, I will be certainly spending more time in Asia than I will be doing in EMEA. I'm very much confident that with the management team that I have in EMEA, with a number of ventures and business development we have on our plate at this point of time, this is going to go forward very nicely. And I want really to dedicate more of my time to Asia and try, to replicate some stories that we have had elsewhere, but also to benefit from the progress and the success that we have had so far in Asia.